sugar mocha only. Choke the microphone the way he low can choke a phony, won't he? Told him play a station like Coney. Tenderoni phone, she lonely, come and stroke the pony. That good loving deserves an encore and a Tony. Brats in the hood bugging, they want more raw baloney. Chachi need to watch his bony, skinny Joni. Villain fitting to fatten her up with minestrone. Been grown, Crow Molly skin tone. Wally rock the end zone, tap your toe or chin bone. The choice is yours alone. He came for the throne and to get the game sewn. Doom name known as the Don for sure true. And he won't show his face or sponsor your group. He sneak up and throw you for a loop. She peeked up, speak up if you want some more soup.
New shoes again, who do's cruise again, who's too smooth, whose flues want snooze with him. No surprise, no new news to him. Here's a light bulb, now how many of you screw this in? I do better when it's less team effort. With an old blue sweater, I'm a less clean dresser. Full circle, back to the drawing board. Mic by the mirror, I'm the best I ever saw record. Moping doom, get it sewn like an open wound. Two scientists up in the lab will make it go kaboom. They said don't mix those two properties together, probably end up with some empty eye sockets or whatever. I'm only here to hunt pleasure like some treasure, never from a whack pack of bitches like the Heathers. After this you better owe 'em for some loot. You freaks, what the fuck would make me want some more soup?
MF Doom,
Mr. Fantastic,
fantastic.
villain.
What up, nigga?
Ain't nothing, what's the word?
It's cracking, boy.
Same old shit, kid.
Man,
Different day, you
rap
know?
snitches, man. Shit is bugged out, man. What the fuck, man?
Shit, you telling me.
Niggas running their mouth, telling everything. Everything.
Critical.
Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Tight profile, low, like 8 and paid in full. Attract heavy cash, cause the game's centrifugal. Mr. Fantastic, long though like elastic. Got my life with twin Glocks that's made out of plastic. Can stand a brown nosing nigga, fake ass bastard. Admiring my style, tall bust on Manhattan, plotting, playing the quickest. My flow's the sickest, my hoes be the thickest. My dro, the stickiest. Street nigga, stamped and bona fide. When beef jump, niggas come get me cause they know I ride. True to the ski mask, New York's my origin. Play a fake gangster like an old accordion. According to him, when the D's rushed in, complication from the wild testimony was thin. Caused his man to go up and off the board, hit him again. Lame rap snitch, nigga, even told on the Mexican. Rap snitches, telling on their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Get the whole label since for years.
All right, boys. I'm hoping everything's coming through fine with the audio and everything, but this is the first time that I've streamed in what feels like forever. I honestly don't know when the last time I streamed was. Some of you guys know about it already, that I've had quite a bit of issues regarding keeping my live streams up on TikTok. So that's been the main thing that I've been trying to, get around, just because I've got like 2 or 3 different account ban warnings right now, which is, again, something I'm trying to work around because it feels like a lot of my audience is coming from TikTok. But anyways, putting that aside, we've got baseball coming on in about an hour, so we're going to talk about some baseball. I think we've got some WNBA tonight. A lot to, get you guys up to date on, and we'll obviously get some plays in. So if you have any questions whatsoever over, anything that I go over, please drop them in the chat. I'll do my best to get to them and answer them. So some of you guys know this, some of you guys don't, but this past week, 2 weeks-ish, I guess, time frame, I've been helping my wife move some of her stuff into her new studio space. She's like a nail tech, so she's got her own business as well. But I've been helping her move out because a lot of her clients would be in here during the time that I would typically stream. So it kind of interfered with, I guess, my business schedule. But now I have the office space all to myself. So with that, comes streams that will literally be at any point of the day. So I know right now on the East Coast, it's 5:30. We got people probably heading home from work, and hopefully can tune into this. But before, I was running streams every weekday at 11:30 a.m., which I know for those of you guys who have jobs, that is a very unrealistic time for you guys to be able to tune in and get some plays in. So hopefully this is a little bit better for you guys. I'm going to try to be doing streams either just an hour or two before games start as far as MLB season goes right now. And then for days when we do have morning baseball, I'll probably hop on here for 30 minutes to an hour and try to get some plays out, and then also try to get back on during the evening time. So one thing that I want to talk to you guys about heavily, because I know we have a lot of guys over on Twitter that may have seen this already, but it's such a cool platform that I honestly am given no choice other than to let you guys know about it because of how well things are going for me, and also the potential that I know that it can bring to you guys. So most of you guys know this. I'm a positive EV. I'm not going to say the word because I'm on TikTok. The strategy I use for apps such as Prize Picks or other sports books is positive EV. A lot of you guys know that already. However, a lot of the guys that I talk to who also do this, what I do, are people who tell the plays. The biggest concern or issue that they have is that they have a small bankroll. A lot of times when we're playing on Prize Picks or Underdog or these apps where we have 6-pick parlays that we're putting out constantly, right? There's going to be bad variance, meaning you're going to lose a little bit of money at some given point. Long term, you're obviously going to make money, but for those who have small bankrolls, it really hurts them whenever they're putting more than they should on specific plays and they lose out on that. So, people want to get into this on Prize Picks or whatever, and they say, hey, I've got $100. That's honestly just not going to cut it, right? It's just not enough. You want to have more capital, right? If you know what you're doing, if you have the positive EV strategy down pat, and you know that long term you're going to make money, you want to have more capital because you know it's going to make money long term. So it'd be much easier for you, instead of playing $1 units off of a $100 bankroll, it would be a lot easier for you to play $1,000 units off of a $100,000 bankroll. That's everyone's dream, right? Let me tell you guys about this. It's called Player Profit. If you guys are watching on Twitter or YouTube, you guys see that it's the first logo that you guys will see in the banner. If you guys are watching on TikTok, you guys see it over my head. Player Profit essentially is the investor, so to speak, of saying, hey, if you can prove to us that you are profitable with whatever you do, whatever your method is, if you are profitable and you can prove that to us, we will give you some of our capital, some of our money to you, so that way you can make money. So the complete business model is amazing. I love it. Essentially how this works is you sign up, you say, hey, I want to get funded $100,000, right? That's what the max that you can do is. You can do 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. You can make whatever bankroll you want, okay? So for me personally, I want to have a $100,000 bankroll. That's just what I'm going to go for. So, okay, I'm going to sign up for that. 100,000 bankroll, $100,000 bankroll. What do I have to do now? Okay, you have to pass 2 different phases, okay? What are the phases? They're challenges that essentially just show them that you know how to make money. So essentially the 2 phases are just you showing that, hey, I can bring my bankroll up to a 20% increase, and then you do it again a second time, and then boom, you're funded. Super simple. It's a super easy way to, have that capital to then make a lot of money. And then the best part is that once you get past those 2 phases, once you complete the challenges, whatever profit you make after you are fully funded, you get 70% of. So it wouldn't make sense to just get all of the profit because it's a business. They have to make a little bit of their money as well. They're offering you their capital in order for you to make money for not only yourself, but a little bit for them. But for example, let's take myself as, the example here for this scenario. What's up, guys? I see you over on Twitter. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know I haven't been live in a while, so I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to go over to Player Prop and show you guys, or Player Profit. I'm going to show you guys my dashboard. This is what I'm currently doing, okay? This is the account I just opened. that I have to pass the 2 phases, okay? Obviously, you guys can tell that I have a $100,000 account size, okay? So what do? I have to show them that I can make money and increase this bankroll up 20%, and then I do it a second time, and then I get fully funded. This has been open for less than a week, and I've already gone up over 16%. Right here, you guys see that number, 16.2%, essentially saying that I've made over $16,000 on this account in less than a week, okay? So in the next few days, when I get over that 20%, they'll reset it back to 100,000. I'll do it again for a second time, which, yes, is a little bit time consuming. But then after that point, let's say, so this is June, right? Let's say by the end of June, I'm fully funded, okay? And then the period of July 1st to the end of July, let's say that I were to make $20,000 on this account, okay? You can treat it just like a sports book. When I hit 20,000, if that's the number that I'm aiming for and that's the number I get, I can now withdraw 70% of that, okay? Which is huge. That's what, $14,000? That's real money that I can then withdraw to my bank. So if you guys want more information about this and you want to have maybe a separate conversation with me, please be sure to DM me. Just let me know, hey, I'm interested in player profit, or, I'm a small bankroll kind of guy and I'm really trying to get more capital to make more money. This is the kind of thing that helps you guys turn this into a full-time thing. If not, it's a huge bonus to your income, okay? I know there's a lot of guys who are sitting right there on their phones putting in $5 for every parlay. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you are actually making money off of that, think about how much more you could be making, right? If you were able to put $10 on those, $20 on those, $100, $1,000 on those, think about that. That's the kind of money that you could be bringing in that you're not right now because you're not taking advantage of opportunities like this. I've already looked at this whole business model. It's perfect for those of us who do positive EV. The casual guy who just, kind of just puts money wherever he thinks something is going to happen, they may struggle with this. And that's me being completely transparent with you guys. But if you take this from a numerical, a mathematical, standpoint, this is going to be extremely profitable. I've already shared it with the Discord. Not only that, but you guys don't have to do the hard work in finding the plays. We post these. We post the plays in the Discord, which you guys can access. It's been a while, but if you guys want to get in the Discord, you guys can go to tridentdfs.com. You'll see all of the links for all of my affiliate stuff, all the apps that you guys should be on, as well as the Discord link itself, okay? Something that I have yet to mention. Player Profit gets all of their odds, their API, whatever you want to call it, they get it directly from DraftKings, okay? So essentially, if you are somebody like myself who prefers to use optimizers, you find positive EV plays for DraftKings and then check them over on Player Profit and take them for whatever the recommended wager is, okay? And you play it just like that. So right now, we've got a play up for the WNBA game between the Mystics and the Fever for Natasha Howard under 6.5 rebounds at -110. We can click on this, check out what the other books have this as. One of the main setups that I have right now that it's obviously going very well for me, being up 16% right now, is I'm taking all positive EV plays that are 2% or higher, positive EV, and I'm also trying to take plays within 2 hours of the game time, okay? That ensures that I'm getting very close to whatever that closing line value is going to be, okay? If I were to pay for a Player Profit account, I'm assuming so Player Profit account, what do I have to do after? Perfect. So one thing that I should mention for you guys, use the code Trident. You will get a discount whenever you sign up. It obviously isn't completely free. My personal opinion, and I promise you guys, I'm not saying this just because it's the highest account they offer. If you look at the pricing for Player Profit, you have the biggest advantage and the most bang for your buck by doing the highest tier, okay? So in order for you to get funded $100,000, you do have to put down $1,000, okay? That is like the entry fee. However, whenever you go down past that to $50,000, $20,000, you're essentially staking more in terms of the proportion. So I personally would say, hey, if you understand that you know that you're profitable and you can make money doing this, make sure you sign up for the highest account, the $100,000 funded account. Okay, you will get a discount, like I said, if you use my code Trident, which obviously you guys over on TikTok can see that. If you guys want to, I'm not doing this for just Dub Club members. If you guys are in the Discord, which is free to join, we're posting Player Profit plays. Okay, so you guys don't have to do the hard work. If you sign up for an account, sign up with my code Trident, and then you go over to tridentdfs.com and click the Discord link. You can get in for free, and you can take all of the plays that we post there. Okay, that would be my step-by-step of how to get set up with this. Okay, so essentially this operates pretty much just like a sports book. We're here within 2 hours of game time, though. This is going to be a 7 o'clock game for WNBA on the East Coast. So we're going to go over here to the basketball tab, go to WNBA, and then go to the Mystics and Fever. Not all of the lines will be exactly as they show on DraftKings. There is sometimes either a delay or it pulls from a different sports book. So we're going to check that here. Scroll down to player rebounds, and then we're going to look for Natasha Howard under 6.5. We got the over here under 6.5. Boom, -110. So I'm using OddsJam right now. For this, they're telling me to put $90. To make things simple, that would be a 1.8 unit wager. So what we're going to do, since I have a $100,000 account right now, 1.8 units is going to be $1,800. That's going to pay out a little bit over $1,600. We're going to go ahead and place this. I'm going to go over to my dashboard and make sure that I get this posted in the Discord. Like I said, we get all of these slips posted so that way you guys can tail. And obviously, if all of us have a Player Profit account and cash the same plays together, then there's no excuse for us to not make money, right? I know what I'm doing. The moderators who also post the plays, they know what they're doing. And at the end of the day, once we're all funded, we're just going to be bringing in more and more money, which is awesome because then when we're able to withdraw that, we can put that in whatever sports book or app that we'd like. So this is going to be Natasha Howard under 6.5 rebounds at -110. This will be a 1.8 unit wager. We're going to look at Player Profit along with some underdog plays as well. I know we're getting close to some baseball today. We should have some pretty good plays as we get closer to game time. I know we got a pretty big slate today. I'm going to go ahead and hide this bet. I have Novig on here, which I know a lot of you guys see. Novig is another app. Really cool. It is kind of one of those just like exchange apps. So it doesn't necessarily work like a sports book. It's more of like a peer-to-peer, if you would. Like, for example, the play up at the top. Chase Dollander under 4.5 strikeouts. Somebody else has posted liquidity for the over 4.5, and you're essentially just taking that other side. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how Player Profit works. Again, if you guys have any questions whatsoever on this, please feel free to DM me, whether that's on TikTok, on Twitter. The easiest way to get to me is going to be through the Discord, which again is completely free to join. If you guys have not already gone and joined the Discord, it's free to join. You guys can go to tridentdfs.com. Just open up a support ticket in there, and then I'll get back with you and get you set up if you have any questions. All right, we're going to take a look at some underdog plays potentially. About an hour out before the first game starts. So we're going to go over. We've got a little bonus here, a little 40% boost. We're going to pull up the Prop Professor, check out some underdog plays here. This is another awesome website. You guys can use my code Trident anywhere. If you're watching on Twitter, you guys see all those at the bottom. Prop Professor, Underdog, Player Profit, Picket, Sleeper, Epic, and Dabble. You guys can use my code Trident over there and get either a deposit bonus if it's one of the apps or some sort of discount for one of the other websites that you guys see there. So Prop Professor, another optimizer just like OddsJam. I prefer to use this for the fantasy optimizer, for apps like PrizePicks and Underdog. But we're going to check this out. There isn't a ton of value right now, so we may have to, squeeze a little bit here. The first one that we see, I'm not going to try to pronounce her name. Maybe I should. Magbeger over 9.5 points for the Seattle Storm. That's going to be over on Underdog. You guys see that none of the other plays here are technically qualified for a 6-pick insured play on Underdog. But what I am going to do is I'm going to kind of look at what FanDuel has as far as some of these other plays. FanDuel is pretty sharp from what I've done my own research, but also a couple of our moderators have broken down exactly when they change their lines, when the market moves. FanDuel has surprisingly made me think that they are the sharpest book, which I used to not think. I used to think it was DraftKings, but from what I have currently seen, I think FanDuel is the sharpest major sports book that there is, other than like Pinnacle. You know, we all know Pinnacle's pretty sharp when it comes to the player props. So we're gonna check this out. A lot of these are minus 140, but they're all one-sided, which we want to have a two-sided, prop. That's how we're gonna really get value. All these that say minus 140, yes, minus 140 technically would be qualified to be in a 6-pick insured parlay over on Underdog, but you guys see that there is no odds associated with the under, which we're looking for. So sadly, there's not a ton of value right now, which honestly I'm getting used to, just because it is the dog days of summer, as they call them, where there's just honestly not a whole bunch, even though we have a full slate, right? We've got a full slate, 15 games, I believe, of MLB tonight, and there's just not a lot of value. I think that kind of stems from just the fact that there's not a whole bunch of different markets associated when it comes to player props on Major League Baseball. You got strikeouts, total bases, hits, runs, and RBIs, and that's about it. I mean, I guess pitcher outs as well, but there isn't nearly as much as there is with NBA. You know, points, rebounds, assists, and then all the combinations that come from that as well. So we're coming to the end of the season with the NBA Finals coming up, and then as well we have the Stanley Cup Final with the Oilers and the Florida Panthers, which I don't know how it's going to go. My heart wants the Oilers to win, just because I want to see McDavid win. But the Panthers team just looks too good right now, man. They look so good. So we'll see how that ends up. But we do have several more months of baseball, and I know we're all kind of just waiting on football to be back. So player profit has honestly been the big thing for me right now, and that's not just because of the lack of volume, but because it gives me and the other Discord members an opportunity to still make money by using it as a sports book. Because with Prize Picks and Underdog, we can't use those money lines and spreads. It's all player props. So having player profit show us kind of like how they can operate as a sports book is super. It's really refreshing to use, but also just, I mean, such a big upside, right? Like being able to use that much capital on things like, tennis, like, is so awesome to me. So, yeah, I kind of was like hoping that we would have some value to go over. That's kind of part of the reason why I waited so long. Hopefully we have some more DraftKings plays pull up here. I might be able to just get, let's see here. If I get rid of Novig, we got 2 plays. So see, both of these are positive EV plays that we should be able to take over on player profit. However, they are over that 2% threshold. But the main thing that I keep trying to drive is take plays within 2 hours of when they actually happen. These are obviously tomorrow, one of them being in the morning. We've taken some plays for tennis when it's at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. The main guidelines that I'm currently going by that have been very successful is 2% or higher within 2 hours of game time. But the only condition that I would say is that if you were to find a play positive EV of 5% or higher, I would take it regardless. Just because at that point you're getting to the point where that's too good of value to pass up. But anything between that 2 to 5, I'm passing up. I need to be closer to that closing line value to really feel like that I'm getting that good value that I can trust. A lot of times you will see plays come through that say, I think we had one yesterday, early in the morning. It was, it was 2 nights ago, we had Tyler Anderson. It was over or under 4.5 strikeouts. And it was like 4%, which is good. It's a good play. However, I can't take that knowing that the lineup's not out, right? Things can change once that happens. I have no clue if that was a play where the line flipped or if the odds changed at all. But that's kind of the scenario, right? That we don't know how much that line can shift once a lineup drops. It's a new lineup every day with baseball, so you kind of have to almost wait for that when it comes to, MLB. A couple other sports are just a little bit different, but I've obviously, if you guys see, I have this to pull up any new plays that it finds as positive EV. So right now, honestly, it feels like I've got all of the components necessary for this to be extremely profitable. Not only do we have OddsJam, but for those of you guys who don't know, in our Discord, we do also have bots that ping different positive EV plays for all these sports books, whether it's FanDuel, ESPN Bet, Bovada, DraftKings. We obviously have a bot for that as well. So all of these are available. This one got posted. I didn't even see this. Oh, that's why. This is for NCAA. This is going to be in several months, but obviously, sports books like to get the lines up early, which is hilarious. But anyways, these are going to ping our members if you guys are in the Dub Club, which again, you can also check out at tridentdfs.com. Here's a prop that just pulled up. We have the Washington Mystics under 19.5 for the team total in the first quarter at -105. So this is another one that's going to start in just about an hour. I don't know if this is, even if they're straights and not a parlay, I still like to make sure that they're not negatively correlated. And I say that because we do have the Mystics player, I believe, for under rebounds, which you don't want to take an under rebounds with an under team total. This is a 2.79% positive EV play. It's recommending 1.4 units, which isn't a huge play, so I don't really mind playing that. You guys see that other sports books like 1xBet, Bet365, BetPlay, and Superbet pretty much have this at about an even line. Some of you guys know this, but the main sports book that I use for the DVigging is going to be FanDuel, which is also what I talked about because of... Okay, hold up. We're going to take this. This one just pulled up. This is a 5.67% positive EV play. This will be for the first half total points under 81.5 at -108. Is this going to be available right now? No. So see what I mean? So this is something that's already changed. I'm a little confused as to where this line is being pulled from. This is on the Mystics and the Fever game. This one pulled up on DraftKings. This would be a 3-unit play, and now both of those are gone. So obviously those have changed. One thing that I've noticed that is very interesting to me is that sometimes we'll have a play pull up on OddsJam as a live play on DraftKings. Not live as in like it's actually happening right now, but like it'll pull up as if the line is available on DraftKings. I'll go to pull it up on Player Profit. DraftKings will change the line, and there's a little bit of a delay, meaning that if there is some crazy play that pulls up for DraftKings, I get notified for it before Player Profit even has a chance to change it, which honestly gives us that little bit of extra edge to secure some really good value. So I'm going to refresh this just to make sure that it's still at -161, which it is for the under 81.5. And I think that other one was a first quarter team total, I believe, of like under 18 or 19.5. -115. I can't remember what it was at. But obviously, both of those plays are no longer available on DraftKings, or they are no longer positive EV. One thing you guys will notice is that if a play pulls up, there is a chance that I will pass on it, because if there's not enough sports books or not enough data points, I'll typically just scroll over it. Just because the money that we are currently wagering, we're trying to meet that certain minimum so that way we can get to the next phase. And it's important. Every single play that we take is important because we don't want to go down. We want to only go up. Does that mean that every single one's going to hit? Absolutely not. But we want to put ourselves in the best position. And if it's only 3 different sports books that have it at a specific price point, probably not going to be one that I take. However, you guys see other props like this, right? This is, again, not one that I'm going to take just because it happens tomorrow afternoon, but these are this is the amount of data points that I want to see. This is what I want to see. 10, 15, 20 sports books if there are. I want to see all the data points if I can, because if DraftKings somehow has the best line available, then we're going to be taking that. Okay? That's just basic stuff. We want to have as many data points as possible, because that obviously means that our play has value on it. Going to go back over to Prop Professor, check out some more underdog plays, hopefully. Nope. No plays over on underdog. Maybe someone better. Dabble. It sucks, man, because it's like, I mean, these plays, or these apps, really, really hate us. I mean, at least in terms of those of us who are positive EV, they hate us. It's very hard to find value during these summer months, just because there's not a lot of sports. There's not a lot of options. So when these apps like Prize Picks only put up goblins or demons for us to take, it's very hard for us to take advantage of it. They rarely have any available lines that are good value. So I'm really excited for football, partially because of that, but also because in the past, these apps have been extremely nice when it comes to the value at the beginning of the season. And it's very calculated because they obviously want new users. If I'm Prize Picks, I'm going to be a little bit easier on my lines because the more props that are available, the more plays people can make. And if you win a play and call up your buddy and say, hey, you got to get on Prize Picks because I just hit this 4-leg that was super easy to hit, then you're going to get your homeboy on, and that's how that works. It's very calculated. And then by the 4th week of the season, they'll crack down on all of their lines, and then they'll screw us all over. So it's extremely hard now, though, since it's literally only baseball. Because, in my mind, whenever the regular season's over, that's like the end, right? We have NBA finals. We have the NHL finals. I understand that there are still games to be played for those 2 sports. However, the volume is not there. We don't have games every single night like we did during the regular season for basketball. We don't have plays that I can put out throughout the week for that Sunday football, right? So it's tough, but these are the months that I've kind of have to just fight through. And that's another reason why I'm like, hey, let's take advantage of this together, right? We have underdog. We have Prize Picks. I understand that. But we're not able to get the same volume out, which is why this is what we need, all right? Docs, what's up, dude? I see you over there on the YouTube. We've got a couple plays here that we may be able to take in this Mystics and Fever game. Still don't really know what's happening with it, but let's see. DraftKings, what are we doing? I don't know what's going on with this. Player Profit still has this play at minus 115. Again, you guys see that there's only 5 different sportsbooks on this. The full game under would definitely be the better play here if it's available. I don't know if it is, though. We may just have to wait on it. Under 159.5. Let me use my little search feature here. 159.5 at plus 105. Little bit of a different line. Technically, this would still be positive EV, but it would not meet that 2% threshold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and wait. This would only be a 1-unit play, which isn't anything crazy. But what I am going to do is just kind of reload this because there is a chance that DraftKings just changed to plus 110 and Player Profit just needs to catch up with it. So we'll wait on it. Discord, obviously, no DraftKings plays coming through just yet. We do have other plays coming through for these other apps, though, as well. Pablo Lopez, under 5.5 pitcher hits allowed over on Underdog. That's a really solid play if that's still up. There's a very slim chance that it is. This was posted right now, so it actually might still be up. minus 150 on 3 of those major sports books, with the other 2 at minus 145 and minus 140. That qualifies for a 6-pick. That also qualifies for a 3-pick power. It's just a matter of getting a couple more plays to complete that slip. If you guys are on Hard Rock, Chase Mydroth, over 1.5 total bases at plus 160. That's a good play for a half unit. If you guys are on Bovada, JJ Bleday over 0.5 singles, plus 155. That's a 1-unit play. So yeah, again, that's just the bot that is continuously putting out value 24/7. If you guys want to go check that out, that's over in the Discord. If you are connected with the Dub Club, which again, you guys can access at tridentdfs.com. Okay, first quarter team total, they have changed the line. So again, this is what I was talking about with you guys. It's a little bit delayed, which in theory, honestly, gives us a better advantage on player profit. So along with that, we should be able to go refresh this, go down to that total points for the under 159.5. I'm taking this instead, not because of my personal just feeling of the game, but it's because we have more data points here. So as you guys see, they have now bumped this to plus 110. This is going to be a 1-unit play. So for me, I'm going to be putting $1,000 on this. Make sure I get this over in the Discord as well. So this will be Fever and Mystics under 159.5. This is one of those things where I know some of you guys may have something to say about it. I don't know. For me, it's not that big of a deal. What I'm getting at is that, yes, I did take an under rebounds and an under points for the same game. I understand that that could be negatively correlated for some of you guys, but Natasha Howard's not going to be playing the entire game. She's also not going to get every single board, hopefully. So, yes, there is a world where, or what am I trying to say? I don't think that there is a world where Natasha Howard goes over rebounds and the game goes under. But again, that's not the point. We're getting value. We're going to play this. Only 1 unit, which 1 unit is the minimum that you can put on any specific slip for player profit. So I'm not going to sweat this. 1 unit, it's 1%. I know it's $1,000, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not a huge slip by any means. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just hide this so that way it doesn't pull up again. Again, that's the under 159. I would take this under team total, but not a huge fan. There's not a ton of data as far as data points on it. With the devigging method that I have with FanDuel being heavily weighted, that's the main contributor to this as far as why this is positive EV. You guys see that FanDuel does have this at minus 118. DraftKings at plus 102, so there's definitely a gap there for us to take advantage of. But again, not a ton of data points, and we've already played the full game under, which those two would definitely be correlated. Don't really want to overexpose on that, though. So make sure you guys get that in over on Player Profit. Again, you guys can use code Trident, and you will get a discount when you sign up. Also, another thing I should mention about Player Profit. If you guys listen to me and get the highest tier, the $100,000 funded tier, because I promise you guys it's the best as far as the proportions, as far as how much money you're putting down, how much money you're getting out of it. If you guys do that, I will give you a free year of Dub Club access, okay? I know that might not sound like a lot, but essentially you're not having to do any of the hard work to find plays. I'll find them for you. I'll get them posted in the Discord. You guys get access to that, along with all of my other plays for 365 days, the whole year. Underdog, Prize Picks, Sleeper, Better, whatever it is. You guys get access to all of those plays for a full year. So make sure you take advantage of that. Use my code, and then open up a Discord support ticket, and we can get all that set up, all right? And please, all of you guys who are watching right now on Twitter or YouTube, again, thank you guys for being here. It means the world to me that you are here since it's been so long since I've been here. But if you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to DM me. I do not mind at all. If you guys want to have just a one-on-one conversation, you can let me know about your current situation. If like, hey, I've got $500 and, kind of wanting to level up a little bit and take, advantage of the player profit thing. If that's something that you just want more information on, please DM me or get a hold of me somehow, because I will take the time to talk with you and we'll figure out whatever the best plan for you is, okay? I'm not going to just sit here and say, hey, get the highest tier because that's what I'm telling you to get. Do I think that it's the best one to get? Absolutely. From a number standpoint in terms of how much money you're putting down versus how much you're getting out, yes, it's the best option. That does not mean that it's for everybody. Okay? So we can talk about it. I can help you guys figure out exactly the best approach to it. Just let me know whether it's player profit or if you want to talk about prop professor, if you want to talk about underdog, whatever. I love talking with you guys because it's easy for me to, I guess, get caught up in like the day-to-day stuff. But I like being able to talk to you guys because I was once like in y'all's shoes. Just because I know a lot of you guys have smaller bankrolls. I was in your shoes once. And I want to be able to just like understand your thinking on it and, you know, where you see yourself in 3 years, right? In terms of like what we're doing. Again, trying to be very cautious with the wording that I use because we're on TikTok. All right. But anyways, DM me if you have any questions whatsoever. I'll probably get back to you tonight. I'll check my DMs over on Twitter, on TikTok, and then obviously Discord, like I already said, easiest way to get a hold of me. You guys open up a support ticket and I'll get back with you tonight. All right, let's look at Underdog again. We've got like 30 minutes until games start, which if anyone cares, if anybody cares at all, this isn't positive EV, but if you guys care about my thoughts for MLB tonight, if you want, these are not locks. These are just what I like, okay? We'll go down the slate. This is, once again, please be cautious. These are not locks. This is just what I like for tonight. All right, let me pull this up real quick. I made a list. And I sprinkled a little bit on a parlay just because I was I loved all these plays. I think it's like 9 legs that I made, but you guys can play this how you want. Don't at me if it goes 0 for 9. Again, this isn't positive EV. This is just straight up on vibes. All right. Give me a second. I gotta pull this up. All right, here we go. This is my parlay of the day, if you want to call it that. All right. We're gonna start off. We're gonna go to the what game is this? All right, we're gonna go to the D-backs game. There are 2 props that I love in this game. We have Zach Gallen versus Spencer Strider. Strider has been very underwhelming this year, and honestly, so have the Braves. Haven't impressed me whatsoever. The 2 plays that I love in this game are correlated for sure. Zach Gallen to get over 4.5 strikeouts and D-backs plus 1.5. Those 2 plays I love, okay? Zach Gallen over 4.5 strikeouts, D-backs plus 1.5, okay? D-backs could lose this game. I don't think it's by more than 1. Those are the 2 plays that I love for this game. Those are the first 2 legs out of our 9-leg parlay that I played today, okay? Another one, 2 correlated plays that I love. I know a lot of people are on these too. The Cubs and Nationals game, okay? Pete Crow Armstrong to get a hit and Cubs money line. Love both of those, okay? Those are the 2 plays that I have here. So that's 4. We have 5 more plays to go over. Keeping it simple, straightforward, Tigers money line. Don't overthink it. Tigers money line versus the White Sox. Absolutely love. Another one, don't overthink it. Dodgers money line, okay? Dodgers money line over the Mets tonight. That's the nightcap for today's slate. Dodgers money line. Let's go back. Padres Giants. Padres plus 1.5. Love the plus 1.5 here. I know the Giants are favored. Give me the Padres plus 1.5. Ryan Bergert gonna do his thing. All right. Landon Root, he's probably gonna give up some bombs today. Another one. No clue how this guy's doing so good this year in terms of his strikeouts, at least. Doesn't happen today. Lance McCullers under 5.5. Under 5.5 strikeouts for Lance McCullers today. And then finally, the very last prop. Why can I not remember what team he plays for? I think he's moved around. That's probably why. No, he hasn't. Chase Dolander, over 3.5 strikeouts today. That's the 9 legs right there, okay? Lance McCullers, under 5.5 strikeouts. Dolander, over 3.5 strikeouts. Pete Crow Armstrong to get a hit and the Cubs to win. Zach Gallen over 4.5 strikeouts, and the D-backs to cover plus 1.5. Then you have the Padres plus 1.5, and then money lines for Tigers and Dodgers. I'm pretty sure I put like a half unit on it to win like 30. Love that. It's a 9-leg parlay. If you want to split it up, go for it. Really don't care. Red Sox money line, I'm not sure how I feel about it, honestly. I think that either team there could win. The real question is who shows up for the Angels, right? If Kikuchi is on his game today, they win this game. If he doesn't, Red Sox win. Definitely a little bit shaky. Cubs run line, I don't know. That's why I just took the money line. I know that they have Cade Horton on the mound. Personally, I think that if you were to play anything for that, I would probably just parlay Cubs and Pete Crow Armstrong to get a hit. Pretty sure that comes out to plus money, just the two of those combined, instead of playing the run line. That would be my best advice there. But again, these are all negative EV. I didn't look for the best lines. I just played them off of vibes. I will sometimes do that just because as a profitable B word, can't say it, but because what I do, I'm profitable, sometimes I will take some of my profits and sprinkle on some parlays. Why? Because I'm a degenerate at the heart, and I only have learned positive EV to make money to then fund my addiction. Possibly. Is anything above 3 units, or is anything above a 3-unit play to feast famine with player profits testing method benchmarks? Great question, actually. So the question is essentially, is it wrong to put too much over on player profit? It's a great question, and I would honestly tell you yes. For example, I wouldn't say a 3-unit is too much, but like maybe 3.5, just because like if you're taking a 3.5 unit, or let's say a 4-unit play, that's like plus 100, you're already putting yourself in a spot where it's like, if this loses, I'm kind of screwed. For those of you who don't know, player profit does have a minimum in terms of the drawback. They're always looking for what you guys see here, that steady increase. Oh, let's see. Oh, my camera's flipped. Anyways, a steady increase, right? They want to see that, so putting that many units on a specific, like one single play, does kind of screw you. The play that was just on the board, I actually would love to put in. I didn't realize they were going to change the line so fast. I think it was Sinner for tomorrow. It was over 5%, and it had plenty of data points. I want to say it was the game spread at like minus. Yeah, it was this one, minus 8.5 at minus 140. This is a good play. I don't know what they just changed it to. I kind of want to go see on DraftKings. I didn't catch, I think it recommended 3.8 units, which again, I'd probably bring back down to a 3.5. Sinner and Bublik. Bublik looked great the other day against, who did he face? Draper, I think. This is what I'm doing. I'm literally getting into tennis, but let's see, match lines. Okay, so minus 140, it's still up on DraftKings at minus 140 as well. Not really sure why it got taken down as positive EV. I'm assuming maybe FanDuel changed it, possibly. I didn't see what FanDuel's line was though. Like that's the thing, I couldn't see if this one was maybe they changed it. I don't know. Oh, they locked it. That's probably why. So FanDuel is the main contributor as of right now to the positive EV, because from what I've seen, it is the sharpest major sportsbook, as I've already mentioned. But it doesn't look like, let's see, game markets. Yeah, they've locked this whole thing. Game spread. Okay, so we'll wait. Maybe they put something back up, because if Sinner minus 8.5 is like minus 170 or something on FanDuel, then we'll definitely have 3 units on this. I'm going to keep an eye on it, though, because this does happen tomorrow morning. What's it? Minus 8.5? Do they just don't have the spread for it? I'm a little confused. They've got total games up. It's like they don't have the 8.5 line anymore. But the whole thing is locked. Popular. It's not a set. Is it game spread? Okay, here it is. I'm going to sit on this. Okay, they changed it. Now it's horrible. So now it's not positive EV at all. In fact, the under might be a little bit positive EV at plus 105. Okay, glad I didn't pounce on that because I don't know why FanDuel changed their line. A little bit suspicious, but anyways, we'll go past that. That's what I was thinking with multi-accounts. Does it change the equation, though? Such as having one account for 3.5 unit plays and above and one account for the 1 to 2 unit plays? That's a great question. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're taking positive EV plays, you're going to make money long term. But it almost feels like we have, like, you know, you got to think that, like, there's, like, in normal... The way we normally do things, we would have like this much room for like variance, right? And with player profit, it's kind of condensed. So like if you were to put 3.5 or 4 units on a play even twice and miss them both, you're kind of screwed over. So the way that I would say it is that if you have more than one account for player profit, it's hard to say that, like, how do I put this? Because there is a maximum to how much you can play per day, right now, I probably would just keep things safe and not play those huge ones. Gosh, this is so hard. I'm trying to think of, like, whenever we get to football season, there's going to be a lot of volume, which in my head makes sense for me to have 2 to 3 accounts, because I don't want to pass up good value. So if I get to 10 units wagered for the day on this account and there's still money coming in, like as far as value, I want to get that stuff in on a second account and just keep ripping through them. I don't really think that there's a, you know, I don't think there needs to be a strategy as far as like one account should be for the small ones and one account for the big ones. I think you just rip them as they come in, just because, you know, you have to just consider that variance is going to happen at some point. And you kind of put yourself in a bad position if all that you're playing is 3.5 units. Like, I would almost encourage you to just like keep spacing them out. If anything, don't have 2 3.5 unit plays pending at one time on the same account, because you kind of screw yourself over. If both of those lose, you're already down almost 70% of your daily loss. And if you've played other ones on top of that, you could be out on that day. So it's a great question, though. It kind of makes me think, like, you know, not sure if there's an exact, a correct formula. As of right now, what I'm doing with the 2% or higher is just, it's working, so I'm continuing to do it. Obviously, 16% of profit in less than a week is very impressive. And that's not me trying to pat myself on the back. It's just good to know that what I'm doing is working. And no, I haven't hit every single play. I think I'm like 16-5 or something. I think it's worse than that. I think it'll tell me actually right here. I'm 17-8. Like, that's not super impressive. I'm winning at a 65% rate, but also I'm up 16% right now. I made over $16,000 on this account in less than a week. And it's because I'm playing things as they should at that specific, you know, unit size. Like, it's not luck, but at the same time, there are going to be some days where I lose money on this. That's just how it works, right? Like, luckily, I don't think I've had a single day that I've lost, which is, yeah, I guess that's a little bit lucky, but I'm also taking a good approach with this. By taking props that are no worse, I say worse, but like plus 110 or better, meaning that they are favored in some way, somewhere, that's going to put me in a spot to succeed, right? That's the whole point of positive EV. I can't wait for football season. We won't have to worry about getting limited. That's another thing. Player profit is so good. So, like, a lot of people who are positive EV, like I already said, the one thing is like, hey, I have a smaller bankroll, can't really make a ton of money, even though I am making a little bit. It's just kind of like little by little, right? What you guys don't know is that there are a lot of people like myself who are positive EV, and the sports books have quite literally limited them because of the fact that they're making money. They don't want to see them win. That's where player profit comes into play, right? People like myself who can't put more than a certain amount because the sports books don't want to lose money. Player profit isn't like that. There's no limits. They're not going to say, hey, sorry, dude, you're winning and we don't like that. Why is that? Because their business model allows them to make money as well. When they take 30% of your profits, that's their cut. They're giving you 70%, which is a lot of money when we're talking about a $100,000 bankroll. That's a lot of money. I already talked about this. If I go up 15 to 20% in a month and I want to withdraw 20K, I still get to keep a big chunk of that. I get to keep almost 15 grand. That's a lot of money for somebody who quite literally just made money with money that wasn't even theirs. Everyone's heard the saying, right? You have to have money to make money. That's what this solves, right? That's what this solves. If I can't afford to have a $100,000 bankroll for sports, or I get limited on these other apps, why not just use someone else's money to make the money that I was going to make in the first place? Boom. It's genius. It's such a good business model all around, not only for people like myself, but obviously for the company. If they have people who are profitable who come in and say, hey, I can make y'all money if I can keep some of it, boom, there you go. It's super simple. All you got to do is prove that you're profitable, which is what I do already. That's what a lot of us do. It makes a lot of sense to just try it. Astros money line. Who's the Astros playing tonight? Pirates? I don't know about that. I personally think McCullers has a terrible game. I don't like the over on his strikeouts. However, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Skeens is pitching. Skeens has been not impressive whatsoever, right? Like, I know it's the Pirates, but like, dude, Skeens hasn't looked great at all. Not like he did his rookie year, which, you know, a lot of people understand that, like, hey, you know, kind of just like a lot of hype around him. His, you know, first few starts when he's putting up 10 plus strikeouts a game. I don't know. I don't really have a read on this game. It's one that I'm skipping over. I do like Lance McCullers under 5.5 strikeouts though. I'm limited on 3 of the 4 major DFS apps. Player profit will take the sharp customers just like Circa does. There you go. I mean, that's the thing that, like, it's also not one of those places where we have to just like constantly surf what's available to get value. Like, they're giving it to us. That's why I got on a phone call with them. I was like, hey, what do you guys use? Where do you guys get your odds from? They're like, oh, DraftKings. That's like where we mainly get our you know, odds. Okay, cool. Let me go plug in DraftKings over on an optimizer and get notified whenever there's positive EV plays on your website. Perfect. There we go. And then I pump them out to you guys. It's so easy, guys. It's so easy. To me, it doesn't make sense why more people, at least in the positive EV community, aren't on player profit, because yeah, there's a process to get funded, but it's no different from what you're doing, right? Like, it's the exact same thing. You're just building your account up to be able to withdraw thousands of dollars. Pretty simple, especially when you're limited on Prize Picks and Underdog. You really don't have another choice. If you're a profitable person, most of the apps, most of the sports books don't want you. Why? Because you're going to take their money. That's how that works. They don't want you. There's no limits on this. If you make money on here, they're going to pay you out. That's just how it works. I don't know, man. I know I've been yapping a lot about this, but I think it's super cool. And like I said, it's one of those things where I feel like I'm almost obligated to tell you guys about it. Not only because I have a deal with them, but because it's a freaking cool idea. Who wouldn't want to have money that isn't even from their own money? Like, oh gosh, you know how many times I hear people that say, oh, I play Prize Picks and I end up finding myself hitting the deposit button every single week. Okay, how about not use your own money? Use somebody else's. Oh boy, it's fun. I love it. You guys have seen all the tweets that I put out about it. I mean, I've got it all posted. $8,000 off of some strikeout props the other day. Burns over 5.5. Holmes under 6.5. We had some more tennis yesterday. Let's see. Yeah, Pegula. I don't even know how to pronounce her name. 6 o'clock in the morning, I woke up. Cash. $4,600. What else do we got? Let's see. Those are the strikeouts. Oh, this was the best one. Right before bed, I'm literally sitting there in bed. I'm like, you know what? Let me check one more time. Go over to OddsJam. Oh, would you look at that? We've got some foreign baseball tonight. Not only KBO, we got some NPB, some Japanese baseball as well. Put in a little bit of, Giants under 2.5 team total, which, by the way, let's talk about that. When your team has a team total of 2.5 for baseball, might have some problems. Anyways, under 2.5, boom, cash, $4,000. Let's go over to KBO. We got the Doosan Bears team total under 3.5. Boom, $2,200. Super simple, bro. $6,000 off of some overnight baseball. I woke up, checked my phone, and bang, already stuff loaded into my account. It's great. It's awesome. And again, it operates exactly like a sports book, except there's no limits, and there's also an edge. These guys aren't absolute sharps. We're getting good plays in, and we're making money. I got the perfect substitute for the B word. Investor on outcomes. That's great. That's something that sounds like ChatGPT would come up with if I typed in, what words can I use to describe myself other than, investor on outcomes. That's great. I'm gonna start using that. That's beautiful. We'll have to see if TikTok catches on to that. One thing that I've noticed right now immediately, this is like hilarious to me. I'm 100% shadow banned right now. The entirety of this stream, I've had about 5 people in the stream on TikTok. I have it on my phone right now, about 5 people, which is hilarious considering I've got however many followers over there. I don't know what's happening right now, but anyways, huge shout out for those of you guys who have tuned in over on Twitter and on YouTube. If you do like this kind of content, I will be doing this more. Like I said, if you missed the beginning of the stream, I kind of talked about how my wife has moved out of her, oh gosh, I thought I got to do a little puzzle piece over on TikTok stream. I thought they just took it down. My wife, she has her own business as well, and she's finally moved out of the office space. No, she didn't move out of our place, but she moved her business out of the office space where we used to have clients come in here, which I couldn't stream whenever she had clients. So now I have way more flexibility for streaming, which is awesome. I'm going to be getting out streams every single day, probably on the weekends, maybe not. I don't know. Right now, it's going to be just pretty much revolving around the baseball schedule. So days like today, when we don't have stuff until 6:40, I'll go live an hour before that. Days like, I believe tomorrow, we have 12 o'clock baseball tomorrow. I'll probably be live at 11, right? 11:30, we'll get in some plays, rip some plays out, and then watch those first few games. And then again, days like tomorrow, I might go live again at 5 just because we have a night slate as well. So I appreciate you guys for tuning into this. If you want more content like this, first of all, please make sure you're following or subscribed to whatever platform you guys are watching on. I am going to plan on trying to get out more YouTube content as far as little 10 to 15 minute videos of me either explaining stuff as from like an educational purpose or actually just getting out plays that you guys can then go watch those videos and get in. But yeah, I hope this was a good rundown of how Player Profit works. It will be something that you guys hear me talk about for the next month at least, just because we're in the bulk of MLB season. And if you guys aren't taking advantage of this, you definitely should. Once again, those little sponsors down there at the bottom, Player Profit, Prop Professor, Underdog, Pick'It, Sleeper, Epic, and Dabble. If you're not on any of those, please make sure to get on one because they're going to help you in some way, shape, or form. Pick'It, obviously great for tracking purposes. You got Sleeper, Underdog, Epic, and Dabble for actually making money on sports, as well as Player Profit, and then Prop Professor, obviously, as an optimizer. You guys can use my code TRIDENT on all of those, and you'll either get a deposit bonus if it's one of those apps, or you'll get some sort of discount. So once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the stream today. Hopefully we cash out these couple of WNBA bets that we've got in, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.
respect.